Krakow, Poland's royal city, cultural capital, and the one place that survived when everything else was destroyed. While Warsaw was bombed to rubble in World War II, Krakow emerged almost untouched. Walking through its streets feels like stepping back in time, because in many ways you are. For over 500 years, this was where Polish kings were crowned, where they ruled, and where they were buried. Today, Krakow is one of Europe's most beautiful cities and Poland's most popular destination. Let's explore why. Krakow's Old Town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the moment you enter, you'll understand why. The Rynek Główny is the largest medieval market square in Europe, 200 meters on each side, surrounded by colorful townhouses, churches, and centuries of history. It's been the heart of Krakow since the 13th century. In the center stands the Sukiennica, the cloth hall. First built in the 1300s, it was rebuilt in Renaissance style after a fire in 1555. That's the beautiful building you see today. It started as a textile trading hall that made Krakow wealthy. Today, the ground floor is filled with souvenir stalls selling amber jewelry, wooden crafts, and Polish folk art. Upstairs, a gallery houses 19th century Polish paintings. It's one of the oldest shopping malls in the world, if you want to call it that, and it's been in continuous operation for over 700 years. The square is always alive. Street performers, flower sellers, horse-drawn carriages, pigeons everywhere. Tourists and locals mix together at outdoor cafes, sipping coffee and watching the world go by. At night, the buildings light up, the restaurants fill, and the square transforms into one of Europe's most magical settings. Standing tall in the square is the Adam Mickiewicz monument, a statue of Poland's greatest poet. Mickiewicz is to Poland what Shakespeare is to England. His words inspired revolutions and kept Polish identity alive during 123 years when Poland didn't even exist on the map. The statue has become Krakow's most popular meeting point. Meet me at Mickiewicz. Every local knows exactly where that is. Day and night, people gather around its steps, waiting for friends or just watching the square come alive. Dominating one corner of the square is St. Mary's Basilica, with its two mismatched towers. Legend says two brothers built them, competing to see who could build the taller one. When the younger brother started winning, the older one killed him with a knife, then threw himself from his own tower in guilt. A knife still hangs in the passageway of the cloth hall as a reminder of this dark tale, a relic of medieval justice under Magdeburg law. Every hour, a trumpeter plays the Hejnał from the taller tower, a 5-note melody that stops abruptly mid-phrase. According to the famous legend, it commemorates a 13th century watchman who was shot in the throat by Mongol invaders while sounding the alarm. Whether true or not, the tradition has continued for over 700 years, even during the Nazi occupation. At noon, Polish National Radio broadcasts the Hejnał live to the entire country. Inside, the church holds one of the greatest treasures of medieval art, the Weitstoss altarpiece. This massive wooden altarpiece took 12 years to carve and is considered one of the finest Gothic sculptures in the world. The Florian Gate is the last remaining gate of the medieval city walls. For centuries, this was the main entrance to Krakow. Kings passed through here for their coronations. Today, you can walk along the small section of walls that survived and see the Barbican, a circular defensive fortress that once protected the gate. Rising above the Vistula River is Wawel Hill, the most important place in all of Poland. For over 500 years, this was the seat of Polish kings and the symbol of Polish nationhood. Wawel Castle is a stunning mix of Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque architecture. Polish kings lived here from the 11th century until 1596, when the capital moved to Warsaw. But even after that, Krakow remained the spiritual heart of Poland. The castle's courtyards are beautiful, with elegant arcades that show Italian Renaissance influence. Inside, you can visit the staterooms, where kings held audiences, the royal private apartments, and the crown treasury with Poland's coronation sword. Next to the castle stands Wawel Cathedral, Poland's most important church. This is where Polish kings were crowned and where they're buried. The crypts hold the remains of royalty, national heroes, and even poets who shaped Polish identity. The cathedral is a mix of styles. Chapels were added over centuries, each more ornate than the last. The Sigismund Chapel, with its golden dome, is considered the finest example of Renaissance architecture in Poland. Inside the tower hangs the Sigismund Bell, cast in 1520. It weighs 11 tons and only rings on the most important occasions: national holidays, papal visits, moments of historical significance. Hearing it is said to bring good luck. At the base of Wawel Hill is the Dragon's Den, a limestone cave connected to Krakow's founding legend. According to the story, a terrible dragon lived here, terrorizing the city and devouring livestock and virgins. A clever shoemaker named Scuba finally defeated it. He stuffed a lamb with sulfur and left it for the dragon. The dragon ate it, became incredibly thirsty, drank half the Vistula River, and exploded. Today, you can walk through the cave and exit by the river, where a bronze dragon statue breathes real fire every few minutes. The Vistula is Poland's longest river, flowing over 1,000 kilometers from the mountains to the Baltic Sea. And in Krakow, it's the soul of the city. For centuries, the river was Krakow's lifeline. Salt from Wieliczka, timber from the mountains, grain from the countryside, all of it traveled on the Vistula. The city grew rich because of this water. Today, the riverbanks have become Krakow's favorite hangout. Locals jog, cycle, and walk along the paths below Wawel Castle. In summer, floating bars and restaurants line the water, packed with people drinking beer and watching the sunset. It's the most relaxed side of Krakow. The best views? From the Dębnicki Bridge at golden hour, with Wawel Castle glowing above the water. Or from a boat cruise drifting past the city as the sun goes down. 15 kilometers outside Krakow lies one of the most extraordinary places in Poland, and one of the oldest businesses in the world. The Wieliczka Salt Mine has been in operation since the 13th century. For 700 years, miners descended into the earth to extract salt, white gold that made Krakow wealthy. The mine produced table salt until 2007, making it one of the longest operating salt mines in history. What the miners created down there is almost beyond belief. Over the centuries, they carved an entire underground world, 300 kilometers of tunnels on 9 levels, reaching 327 meters deep. But they didn't just dig for salt, they carved. Chapels, statues, chandeliers, all from salt. The miners were deeply religious, and they brought their faith underground with them. The crown jewel is St. Kinga's Chapel, an underground cathedral carved entirely from rock salt. The floor, the altar, the chandeliers, the religious sculptures, everything is salt. Even the crystals on the chandeliers are carved salt designed to look like glass. It took 67 years to complete. Today, it hosts weddings, concerts, and even masses. Standing in this vast underground space, 101 meters below the surface, you can hardly believe what human hands created. The mine is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of Poland's most visited attractions. Tours take about 2 hours, cover about 3.5 kilometers, and only show about 2% of the entire mine. East of the city centre lies one of Krakow's strangest neighbourhoods, a perfectly planned socialist city built from scratch in the 1950s. Nowa Huta means new steelworks. Stalin wanted to create an ideal socialist city next to a massive steel plant, a workers' paradise that would contrast with Krakow's bourgeois, intellectual, religious character. The architecture is monumental Soviet classicism. Wide boulevards radiate from a central square like rays of sun. Identical apartment blocks line the streets in perfect symmetry. No churches were planned. Religion had no place in the socialist utopia. The plan backfired. The workers of Nowa Huta became some of Poland's most active anti-communist resistors. They fought for years to build a church. A young priest named Karol Wojtyła, later known as Pope John Paul II, held open-air masses on the empty field where the church should stand, defying the atheist state. Finally, in 1977, the Arka Pana Church was completed, a victory against communism, led by the man who would later help bring down the entire Soviet system. Today, Nowa Huta is a fascinating time capsule. The communist architecture remains largely intact, offering a glimpse into a vanished ideology. Guided tours in vintage Trabant cars take you through the district's history, a quirky counterpoint to Krakow's medieval old town. South of the old town lies Kazimierz, once an independent city, now Krakow's most fascinating district. Its story is both heartbreaking and inspiring. For over 5 centuries, Kazimierz was home to one of Europe's largest and most vibrant Jewish communities. At its peak, 65,000 Jews lived here, about a quarter of Krakow's population. Synagogues, schools, theaters, and businesses filled the streets. It was a center of Jewish culture and learning. Then came the Holocaust. The Nazis liquidated the ghetto, deported residents to concentration camps, and murdered almost the entire community. Of those 65,000 Jews, only a few thousand survived. For decades after the war, Kazimierz was neglected and crumbling. That changed in 1993 when Steven Spielberg filmed Schindler's List here. The movie brought global attention to the district and sparked a slow revival. You can visit the Schindler factory, now a museum about Krakow under Nazi occupation. The Old Synagogue, the oldest surviving synagogue in Poland, houses a museum of Jewish history. The Remo Cemetery, with tombstones dating back to the 16th century, is one of the best preserved Jewish cemeteries in Europe. Today, Kazimierz has transformed into Krakow's hippest neighborhood. The same streets that once held tragedy now overflow with life. Independent boutiques, vintage shops, art galleries, and some of the best bars and restaurants in the city. The Jewish heritage is honored through cultural festivals, restored synagogues, and the annual Jewish Culture Festival, one of the largest in the world. It's a place where history and modernity exist side by side, where remembrance meets renewal. Krakow's food scene is a mix of traditional Polish cuisine and modern innovation. Pierogi are everywhere, those delicious dumplings stuffed with meat, cheese and potato, sauerkraut or fruit. Krakow has dedicated pierogi restaurants where you can try every variety imaginable. Żurek is a sour rye soup, often served in a bread bowl with white sausage and egg. It sounds strange, tastes incredible, and is perfect for cold Polish days. Obwarzanek is Krakow's signature street food, a braided ring of bread similar to a bagel but chewier, covered in poppy seeds, sesame or salt. Vendors sell them from blue carts all over the old town. They cost almost nothing and taste like Krakow itself. Krakow isn't just about history. It's one of the youngest, most vibrant cities in Europe. The Jagiellonian University, founded in 1364, is one of the oldest universities in the world. Copernicus studied here. Today, over 130,000 students call Krakow home, giving the city an energy that lasts long after the tourists go to sleep. Krakow's nightlife is legendary, and it literally goes underground. The old town is built on top of medieval cellars, vaulted brick chambers that now house some of the best bars in Poland. From craft cocktail lounges to grungy student pubs, From jazz clubs to techno venues, the options are endless. And because of the student population, prices remain surprisingly affordable for a major European city. This is Krakow, Poland's royal city, Poland's cultural heart, and one of Europe's most unforgettable destinations. If you enjoyed this journey through Krakow, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more travel content. Have you been to Krakow? What was your favorite part? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.